viewers, you're watching Times Now, and we are with the Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. Basavaraj Bommai, who completes 1 year in office. It's been an eventful 1 year, Mr. Bommai. You've had to consolidate your position. How has this been?
See, I've been in politics for the last 30 years, and I had lucky enough to work with 5 chief ministers. And we have faced a lot of challenges during those times also. So this has come really handy for me. Second thing is the credibility and acceptability are two important factors for any politician, which I follow. So I take everybody along in my stride and work it out, and that really worked for me. A sense of confidence I have built in with the people, with my party men, and with my legislatures and ministers, which is very important for a governance and implementation of programs. And of course, we have performed on the ground. Government was there with the people when it's needed more. For example, floods were there. We handled it very efficiently. As soon as I became Chief Minister, there were floods. We handled it efficiently throughout the state, and we enhanced the compensations, relief works in housing and agricultural losses. We enhanced it. They doubled the NDRF this thing, and that's how the people felt that the government is there when we need most. And the second thing is to bring the state into economic path. When I took over, because of the COVID, the collections were almost 5,000 crores less. I decided that we had to pull up the socks, and my officer responded. Ultimately, we ended up in collecting 15,000 crores more than the budget targets. So once economy is on track, then all our projects, all our schemes, all our development works, infrastructure we started to look forward.
So it's a state with high anti-incumbency, and when you came in, you were part of a number of other changes that the BJP had made at an organizational level in other states, replacing incumbent chief ministers. Would you say that there was a lack of confidence in Mr. Yadurappa, and that's why you were brought in,
no,
Mr. Bommai?
In Karnataka, it's a totally different story from other states. Yadurappa had expressed himself that I'm in more than 75 years, but party was large-hearted to give me opportunity, and they have made me chief minister. Now it's time for me to gracefully give it for the next leadership.
But he wasn't very happy with that transition.
No.
At first he seemed to accept it, and then later he came out publicly and made some off-color remarks.
No, you see, it might be some regarding some issues, but you should really see and admire how gracefully he not only quit, he helped me in all the aspects, and he stood by the party. Even now, he is in forefront to say that we'll bring BJP back to the government. Every step he has guided me, helped me, and he has stood by the party 100%. Probably very few leaders can have this kind of courage where they can still go on without any power which they were holding. So he is one man who is a crusader.
That's true. You're saying that there was he was a crusading and obviously a person who was keen on giving up power because he wanted the best interests of the party. But if that is so, he's also wanting to give a ticket to his own son, wants to develop his career. Now, the Prime Minister constantly talks about this issue of perpetuating dynastism. Would you be happy? Would the High Command be happy in accommodating Mr. Yadurappa's demand that his son should be given a ticket in the upcoming elections?
See, the Prime Minister concept is that the dynasty politics is to have 100% control over the party with the government and continue to the father, sons, the brothers are part of that government in the same government, which we have seen in regional parties. But here is our national party, it is no chance for that. In case of Yadurappa, he has built the party for 40 years and he represented Shikaripura for 7-8 times. Now he himself is quitting that place. And when he is out of the scene, the wish of the Shikaripura people was just suggested by Yadurappa. And ultimately he said, party will take a call. not that this is final. So his stand is very clear, and party is also very clear on this.
So the party will not give him his son a ticket?
No. Party will ultimately decide whom,
so you're not ruling it out?
Where it can be given, how it can be given.
Why should it be given? Principally, I'm speaking on principles. Why should it be given when your party has taken a stand against dynastism?
No. When Yediyurappa is quitting, it's not that Yediyurappa is also contesting and his son is also contesting. Not the case. He is quitting his thing, and we want to win every constituency. And choice of the people. And Yediyurappa ji is not contesting. That seat we have to win. And that's wish of the people of that constituency.
So are you saying that in the entire BJP, in this particular constituency, there is no one except for his son that can bring you that seat?
See, I'm not concluding what the High Command will decide.
So it's the decision is not with you, it's with the High Command.
The decision is with the High Command, not only his seat, even my seat is under High Command.
Would you say, sir?
In BJP we have got certain methods. We are going to have a lot of internal survey.
So I'm just clarifying this. If the High Command eventually gives the ticket to Mr. Yediyurappa's son, it will be because it is one ticket for one individual, not for the entire clan.
Yeah, because nobody else in the family is contesting those elections.
So it's okay if dynastism is perpetuated as long as the father or the brothers are no longer contesting and only one member of that family is contesting. Is that what you're saying?
No. Ultimately, it is not sharing of power. Father being in power and the same power is not sharing of power. It is electoral politics. In electoral politics, one person from a family, if people like him, it's democracy.
Well, that could be said about many dynasts, and the Prime Minister has often taken a swipe at, let's say, the Congress for promoting and perpetuating dynastism. And many people say this is hypocrisy when you have leaders in your own ranks who are constantly, and their children are constantly promoted.
As I said before, Prime Minister has clarified what the dynasty politics is.
Okay. Let me begin with the challenges that you face. Law and order, many people are saying, is an issue. Just today, we have had reports, and Times Now is covering this story quite aggressively, of a group of individuals from the Bajrang Dal that have decided to impose some sort of a moral code by going to a pub, the same pub that was attacked in 2009 by another Hindu outfit, the Ram Sene, and has called off a party. Now, the police were there, but they didn't do anything to stop this mob of Hindutva activists. They are saying that we have done this because the police were not stopping underage people from going into the bar. Obviously, this is wrong.
Now, let me tell you this.
No, first, do you support the Bajrang Dal's action?
See, I'll tell you. In all the states, there are fringe elements. And sometimes they take the law into their hands. But we promptly don't allow anybody to take law in their hands. And we have acted before also. We'll have to act. So these issues are there in every state nowadays.
In 2009 when this took place,
I know.
Again there was a BJP power.
I'm telling you.
There is an impression that people are getting, Mr. Bommai. No. Maybe the fringe gets emboldened when the BJP comes in, especially the Hindu fringe.
We have kept fringe to fringe levels.
Okay.
We have controlled them absolutely. And we have handled all these issues by rule of law. And rule of law will prevent, and we have seen that it is prevented. For example, the case of hijab. Hijab was there. And the fringe elements, SDP and PFI.
I'm coming to that. I'm giving a parallel example. It was blown out of proportion. They tried to criminalize it, everything. We never allowed that. Rule of law will be done. Similarly, there is vandalism on some fruit vendors and of a minority community. We have arrested the people who have really attacked on minority communities. We have been fair on both the sides, and rule of law will prevail. So, as of now, there has been, at least as we are speaking, I have no information about any cases that have been registered against these Bajrang Dal activists. You're saying they will be registered?
No, even I'm in Delhi now.
Okay.
I'll certainly look into this matter.
And are you assuring that action will be taken against these Bajrang Dal activists for taking the law into their own hands?
No, I'll tell you. I've instructed our officers that no injustice has to be done to anybody, and rule of law should be prevailed, and rules should be implemented by the government officers only, nobody else. And that will prevail in this case also.
And what about the policemen who watched while this was happening?
The whole thing will be examined.
Examined.
In a context.
And action will be taken. Strict action.
Certainly. In past also I have taken action.
You talked about the Fringe, Mr. Bommai. This is very important. Let's talk about the PFI. Now, this is an organization that the NI has linked to a lot of murders, arson, vandalism, all sorts of communal crimes in the state of Karnataka. The BJP in Karnataka has accused the Congress government under Mr. Siddaramaiah of appeasing such elements. Do you believe that the PFI should be banned?
Certainly it should be banned. Over a period of time, if you observe their activities, it is national, anti-national activity to create a disharmony and communal violences. They have done some direct actions, including murders, where we have booked them, and they were doing it in a big way during Congress regime. Now we have controlled them. At the same time, they have expanded their wings to other states also, from Kerala to Karnataka up to UP. They have expanded. Time has come to look of banning them very seriously.
So let me ask you, because the Jharkhand government under the BJP had banned the PFI, will the state government under you, sir, now ban the PFI?
No, it's one thing. Banning has got certain rules, certain procedures, and selectively banning by the states has been struck down by the courts. So looking into all aspects, a comprehensive law has to be prevailed on them, and see that respect.
But given their associations, since the BJP has made these claims, you're saying there is a case for them to be banned. The centre has also not moved, though the centre also has flagged the PFI as an organization of great concern. Some people are saying, and including the PFI, that they are selectively targeted by the BJP to create a sense of otherness, to perpetuate a polarizing politics.
See,
that they are punching back.
I don't think so. See, their activities are so very clear, and if somebody wants to misinterpret it, then they are party with them. So nothing of that sort is there.
The Kerala High Court has called the PFI an extremist organization. This is what the Kerala High Court has said. So why hasn't the centre then moved?
No, they have, that's what I said.
Have you spoken to Mr. Amit Shah about this?
See, wherever the procedure is there, that procedure is now following. There is a certain method to do all this, otherwise it will not stand the scrutiny of the courts. Hence...
no, but the court, the Kerala High Court,
I'll tell
itself
you.
has called the PFI an extremist
Observations are different, but when certain action is taken, the law, the backing of the law is very important to sustain it. It is not just for the sake of it. The sustaining of those actions is very necessary, and that is done only through the right kind of law, and I think that has been followed.
Let's move to radicalism, which is a direct outcome of fringe activities. Now, the reason I'm focusing on all of this is because law and order is a key issue, and it comes up in elections, and obviously you're going to be asked questions on this. There were riots in Hubli in April this year, in which 40 people were arrested and 12 policemen injured following a controversial social media post. Times Now had covered this story, had investigated the story. There were apparent links to a large number of not just fringe but also mainstream political entities. In February, a Bajrang Dal activist, Harsha, was murdered by a group of Muslims, and the NI is now handling the case. This happened not long after the hijab controversy. Now, I've given you the backdrop. There is a sense that the communal pot, sir, in the state is boiling. There is growing radicalism. How much does this worry you, and why is this happening?
See, this is not done in just 1 year. It has got a past history. Even a lot of terrorist cells were found in Bhatkal. All these coastal areas, right from Bombay connections, these are there. It has got a past history, number one. Number two, lot of people from Kerala, that influence also there. We are, in fact, when I was a Home Minister...
When you say a lot of people from Kerala...
Kerala, the fringe elements from Kerala.
Okay, so you're not blaming the...
No, I'm not blaming the Kerala people or anything. I'm very clear. It is the fringe elements from Kerala where they have also got the problems there. And the Kerala government is also facing the same problem which we are facing. Now, when I was a Home Minister, I booked more than 15 terrorist important organizations and cells, and they are now in Tihar jail. So this is a kind of a continuous activity which is really worrying the entire country, not only in Karnataka, but we are tackling them continuously, and they are now trying to say that they are challenging the authorities itself. That's a new trend. That also we are taking up very seriously and see that they are put in jail and action will be taken.
Now, I wanted to ask you...
I can give you so many examples for that.
Now, Mr. Bommai, this is very interesting because when we question the PFI or we question other organizations that have kept this sort of, if I may, communal pot boiling, they say that the BJP picks up issues which infringe upon Muslim rights. Hijab, for example, they talk about cow slaughter, really, love jihad. And this pushes us to defend our interests. And sometimes, obviously, people get provoked, and this is what is happening. And there are also a large number of disaffected youth amongst the Muslim community that are becoming radicalized because of this.
See, I'll tell you, it is totally a misinformation campaign. Hijab was started by them, it's very obvious. We have got names of the people who have interpreted, we have got videos. So, it is none of this is true. They create kind of a thing that they want to have a nation within nation, which is not allowed at any cost. And they are moving all these issues for this purpose. And they have been motivated from outside the country also. It has been found so many times. So they are radicalized basically. And radical elements try to put the blame.
So let me ask you this, because there was a young student who claims that she was provoked.
You are a nationalist thing.
Yes.
We have discussed broad-based on this.
Yes.
Single incidents can say something, but at the whole, what should be the approach? That should be the part of the solution of this whole thing, this menace. Each incident can speak this way or that way.
So none of these issues, for example, hijab, for example, or the cow slaughter bill, or the love jihad issues, or the crackdown on madrasas, they have, you're saying, you are not doing this to target any community.
No question. See, I'll tell you, cow slaughter bill. It is there from 60s, right? It was inspired by Mahatma Gandhi himself. Nothing is new in that. And in fact, we are trying not only cow slaughter, how we will protect the old cows. That has been put in this act. And now we are coming out with a new scheme called Punya Koti, where people adopt the cows, old age cows, and protect them. So that is a kind of an improvement what we are trying to do. And second, hijab, I have spoken to you, it is done by them, but we handle it so very well. There was a dress code law from 1980s in Karnataka, and I said, please follow this. And we issued the orders, and High Court also now upheld it. Now everybody is following, even majority of the minority community is following.
So there is this so-called liberal fringe,
this is the silver lining the whole thing.
Okay.
It was such a sensitive matter. But since we didn't cite anything, we said rule of law should prevail, and we did it, and High Court this did. After that, everybody is following. 99.9% of even minority community is following. It is 0.1% of these people. See, in this country, even in minorities, the majority silence is not heard. That's the whole thing. So whenever somebody makes a small noise, it is heard out of proportion. But we are handling it, not that we are not handling it. But the majority is following, also should be acknowledged. That is going to motivate a better harmony in the society.
Now, you talked about the fact that some of these people, this 1% or 2%, are being motivated by an unseen hand, foreign hand. Is it the Campus Front of India? Who is it exactly?
No, I don't go into those details, but whenever inquiry has been done and some incidents have been done, their roots are outside the country and people go get trained, get motivated. We have seen in the past. That's why with that background I have told. But however, it is very well known that these elements are here which are highly radicalized to really disturb the peace and progress of this country. So as a nationalist, as a Desh Premi, everybody irrespective of the caste, community and religion, we should fight it out for betterment of our children.
Let's talk a little bit about corruption, which is the other issue which gets a lot of attention. Ishwarappa, let's speak a little bit about Mr. Ishwarappa. He was given a clean chit by the Karnataka police in the abetment to suicide case involving Santosh Patil, a contractor who had named him in his suicide note and accused him of demanding commissions. Do you believe the investigation has been fair?
Very fair, and they have considered all angles. And whenever an investigation is done, there are two responsibilities. One is to find the culprit. Second is that no innocence is also unnecessarily booked. And when detailed investigation has been done, it's as per the police. I have not read the report. But police have found that there is no witnesses. That's why they acknowledged him.
Well, the family is very unhappy. They have said it's a cover-up.
See, and the second thing is, it's not the end of it. Ultimately, that report will be filed in the court and it will be scrutinized in number of courts, not only one court. So ultimately, the courts are going to decide how genuine and non-genuine it is.
So you're basically saying that Mr. Ishwarappa, who was not even summoned by the police, has been given now a clean chit on the basis of the fact that there were no eyewitnesses. What is the guarantee? The family says that those eyewitnesses or those witnesses were intimidated.
I don't want to comment on the report. Ultimately, it is now put to the court. Court will decide all these aspects.
Let me also ask you this. The police sub-inspector recruitment scam and the investigations into it. Now, they've led to some serious revelations. The Karnataka CID's own investigation has alleged in the charge sheet that a BJP leader took 25 lakhs from each of the aspirants to rig the answer sheets. They've also demanded the resignation of the Karnataka Home Minister for what they say is an attempt to deny the scam. Now, how do you respond to this?
No, it should be seen in the right perspective. First thing is, it is we are conducting the inquiry. When the initial complaints came, we never hesitated, we never wasted a day. And I said that it should be given to CID for independent. The very fact that the first attack was on she is no more a BJP leader, but she was earlier. It was first attack was done on her only. So we are not here to compromise, Whoever is guilty, we are doing it. And we have charge sheet and she is also jail. And there are a lot of congressmen also in the jail.
That's true.
There are
Congress leaders,
leaders and supporters also in the jail. So we are not interfering in this thing. Let it be BJP, Congress, whoever is done guilty, let it be there. And secondly, we have taken such a hard decision, the CID, that a senior most officer has also been arrested, which no other state in the history of independent India has been done. So we are so transparent, fair, and we are not
because your opponents constantly say, whether it is Karnataka or nationally,
see, I'll tell you,
that the ED, all these agencies are used against them, but when it comes to improprieties by BJP leaders, these agencies somehow find nothing.
Now you're contradicting your own question. Okay. You said that BJP leader has been found and charge sheeted.
Yeah.
If that was the case, if you had exonerated her, you would have said. Now we have booked her also. So we are fair. Congressmen are there, more congressmen are there. Secondly, the same kind of scam was done in 2015-16 when Siddaramaiah was a chief minister. Questions paper were leaked, it was found, CID inquired, FIR was done. No action was taken on the DIG. Till today there was no action. I allowed the prosecution when I became a chief minister after so many long years. They just hushed it up. Much more serious leakage was done. So these people doesn't have any moral right to speak about it. It is we have taken action and we are going to take further actions also. We are very fair.
So when Mr. D.K. Shiv Kumar, who is being raided, or other Congress leaders who have been targeted, if you were to use their words, but investigated, if you were to believe the ED, are to be believed, they say this is a witch hunt, that all the cases are only loaded against the opposition. So you're saying that this is an excuse, a pretext.
See, let me tell you, if all kind of economic offences and other criminal offences can be covered up with this political statement, and then there will be no investigation of any kind in this country. When there is some substance and when there is some evidence, ED has to go through it. Congress has ruled so many years. They also raided so many people. That doesn't mean that everything is political. Our Prime Minister and the Home Minister went through this. So the law of the land says that you have to go through this. And what's wrong? I mean, if they are really clean, why they should be worried about it?
Let's talk a little bit about your development record, Mr. Bommai, as we wrap up this interview. Karnataka appears to be doing well on developmental indices. Its unemployment, as per CMI data, is well below the national average, and is also leading state in terms of sustainable development goals. But according to a study by the Center for Science and Environment this year, Karnataka still lags behind states like Tamil Nadu and Kerala in areas such as tackling hunger and malnutrition. So these are certain focus areas. It ranks 10th according to the study in terms of eradicating poverty. Of course, the methodology and conclusions can be questioned. But what are the challenges that you foresee on the development front?
See, development front, we are highest number of FDI attracted in last 4 quarters. Innovation, we are number 1. Highest number of industrial development index, we are topping the country. And employment, as you said, we are going to improve further on the employment. I have got new employment policy in place now, where industries are more incentivized for employment, because employment is one thing which can empower the families. And for me, I believe that economy is not money. Economy is human activity and human livelihood. Now a lot of people are, even though we are one of the top 4 states in per capita income, but if you look deeper, it is only 30% of the population contributes. Still 70 people work for the livelihood. I want these people should also get their per capita income high, and they should start contributing to the economic. The state GDP will improve, their livelihoods will improve. That is real economy. So I am really making new schemes, new projects where people are involved and people are given opportunity to better their life standards. So I got a lot of schemes for that. For example, SC/ST women, we have got an end-to-end approach where more than 5 lakh SC/ST women will be having their own income with anchor banking and aggregator as a marketing. It's a very well thought scheme. Similarly for youths, we are doing it. This apart, as far as malnutrition is concerned, which you have raised, in the entire state, only 3 districts where malnutrition is low is pulling us down. Otherwise, it would have been 3rd or 4th. So I am concentrating on those 3-4 districts where malnutrition has to be improved. I have put in a lot of efforts, programs and money now. And I am quite sure within a matter of 1.5 years, we will be able to come up to the 4th or 5th place. And IMR, MMR we have improved, but still a lot of things to be done. I am aware of it. I am going through that. Now, for this purpose, the entire Human Development Index, I have created aspiration talukas. As our Prime Minister has done aspiration districts, I have created aspiration talukas, wherein we are concentrating education, health, malnutrition and women and child welfare. These 4 parameters I am concentrating. And I have put in a lot of money on this also. And we have got a definitive plan. For example, school buildings in these areas. More than 6,300 schools I am building this year, classrooms I am building, which is a record of sort for Karnataka. Similarly, health infrastructure we are improving. And malnutrition, I am giving the top food, which is now divided as most malnutrition, medium and all. I said nothing to no medium, everybody should get a good food. So this portion of that is we have taken care. So we have got a multi-pronged approach. One is at the economic activity, second is people involvement in employment, and third is this human development index should be taken care. And in my budget, there is a human element in my budget. For example, all people above 60 years will be checked thoroughly and they will be treated further, not just checked. Then all people above 60, eyes will be tested and specs will be given free in a big way. A lot of people, hearing problem is there, and that hearing aid is very costly. For the first time, I am giving a huge money so that aid is hearing aid is given, and it costs 7-8 lakhs, 10 lakhs sometimes. So that I am giving. Then I have doubled the dialysis cycles. It was 30,000 per day. I am making 60,000. So dialysis is a very important aspect. You know how it is. And then chemotherapy, I have doubled the whole cycles. So we have got a real human approach also. I am thinking of the lowest people, their health, their education, and their sustainable livelihood. So with this pronged approach, I want to improve not only the just economy of the government. For me, the choice is whether economy of the government should be good or economy of the people should be good.
So let me ask you, sir, will you be the chief ministerial candidate for the election? Will you be the face?
I am a chief minister and election is now going on. So naturally, under my chief ministership, it will be there.
Best of luck, Mr. Bommai. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Nice meeting.